Hi guys. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I absolutely love to talk about, other than Phantom of the Opera, which I'll talk about. I think I've already talked about, or I made a video. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, I talked about it. But today I am going to talk about something very, very special to me. It is Disney. I'm not going to wear this hat. I would, but it's too hot to wear it. I'm getting a little too hot in it, so. That's my Disneyland hat. And there's my name and everything that I got from Disneyland about a little over 2 years ago. But the reason I'm talking about it today is because on July 17th, excuse me, of 1955, that's about 60 years ago today, Disneyland opened for the first time. So I thought I would talk about it. And now, like, as you can see, I have my hat. I have a few other things, but I'm not going to show you all of them. One of my other things I have is from when I went to Disney World. And there's my, when I was I was in I was 7, sorry, not in 7th grade, but when I was 7, no, I was going to turn 7 that year, sorry, when I was about 6. We went to Disney World. But that was not my first time going to a Disney theme park. And as you can see, I've been there more than once to each of the parks. I have actually been lucky enough to have gone to Disneyland twice and Disney World twice. Now, I don't really remember as much about my first Disneyland trip, which was actually my first trip to any Disney theme park. I'll explain that in just a minute. I don't really remember much about my first trip to Disney World, which is not this one where I got that, but my autograph book. And I remember a little bit about that trip, the Walt Disney World, the second time I went to Disney World. Because since I was 6, it's harder to remember much about it. But I do remember a lot about the last trip that I went to Disneyland when I was I was 21, already 21. Anyways, yeah, so, yeah, the few years ago, I remember. A couple of years ago, sorry. Anyway, so, now, okay. The reason I don't remember my very first Disney trip is because I was 9 months old. I don't remember anything about it. I was almost 10 months old, I believe. No, I was 9 months old, I think. I don't know. My, mom had, the reason we got to go is my mom had, entered a contest, a Wheel of Fortune contest, when, they still do it now, actually, but it was they want when they've done, once in a while they'll do these mass contests where anybody can enter. It was before the Wheel Watchers Club and everything. But, so yeah, we got to go. And, it was me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my grandmother, because since I was a baby, I was under a year old, I did not count. So my grandmother was able to go. So that was my first experience with Disney, even though I have absolutely no memories of it. Then, when I was about 3, or was I 4? I was one of those ages. I think I was probably 3. I'm not sure. My dad, my mom, let me explain. My parents were both in the Navy. That's actually how they met. But anyways, my dad wanted to go down to Orlando to the boot camp to see I think it was the graduations. I think so. And, I mean, you used to be able to go see it. It was before September 11th, so anybody could go see them. You didn't have to have a special ID and stuff. or special identification, however they do it now, I don't know. Anyways, but so he took my sister and I down there. For some reason, I don't remember why. Probably my mom was working, or no, I don't know why my mom didn't come, but it was just me, my dad, and my sister, and we went to Disney World, and that was my first time going there. Like I said, I might like have snippets of memories of them, but they may not be actual exact. They may not be real memories because I have like when I was little, there was a Disney video I had like that showed the parks and stuff. It was one of their sing-alongs. If you're old enough to remember those, and so that's maybe where I'm getting all my memories, or the young memories from. That may have been where I got them from. But then, like I said, when I was 6 years old, my mom, my dad, my sister, and I, we all got to go to Disney World together. And we didn't stay in the parks. It's expensive to stay in the parks, but I want to someday. And so this was right before this was like a year or two before the Animal Kingdom opened. So we didn't get to see it. Well, of course we didn't see it because it wasn't open yet. But we went to Epcot. We went to the Disney Hollywood Studios, but back then it was called Disney MGM Studios. We got, like I said, Epcot, Disney Hollywood Studios, or whatever you want to call them, and to Disney, and then, of course, Magic Kingdom and stuff. And that was, I do remember some of that, but we also have home video of that, so it's kind of mixed in with the real memories and just not really much memories. But so yeah, we went there, and that's when I got, like I said, that's when I got this book. And then the next time I finally got to go was, like I said, a couple of years ago. My dad and I were going on a whole or for a 3-week trip. We didn't do the whole 3 weeks like we planned. But anyway, I'll tell you about that another time. But we went to Disneyland, and actually my sister and my dad did this basically same trip. I think they went the opposite way. Anyways, never mind about that. But they hadn't planned on going to Disneyland. They were just going to go to Hollywood instead, to LA. But my sister was like, she asked them if they could go to Disneyland, and she's like, I'll pay for it, and so she did. So when it was time for my dad and I to have our trip, my dad went ahead and planned Disneyland in as part of it. So, of course, I was very excited. It had been so long since I'd been to any of the Disney parks, and I was very, very excited. And so we went there, and I'll find it someday, and maybe I'll show it on here or something. But they actually gave me, because I had been an infant when I went for the first time to Disneyland, I was like, I told them about how the last time I had come to this one, I had been an infant, and they're like, oh, go get you can go get a pin. This is really your first time. And I was like, okay. So I got a first time visitor pin, even though it technically wasn't my first visit. But yeah, so I love it. I love Disney. I want to go back to Disney World, and we hope to go someday soon, like in a couple of years or so, probably when my nephew, who's 9 months old right now, when he's about 3 or 4, there'll still be another baby by that time, most likely. But anyways, I want to be the aunt who has to ride this stuff, and who suffers riding all the rides my nephew will want to ride. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be suffering. I definitely want to ride those rides. We didn't ride as many rides as I would like to. I mean, we rode all the rides I wanted to, or most of the rides I wanted to, but some of them were too long. I didn't get to ride the Matterhorn. I want to ride that. Next, if I ever get to go to Disneyland again, I want to ride the Matterhorn. Anyways, so yeah, we had so much fun. But, yeah, like I said, I want to ride all these rides with my nephew. I want to ride Peter Pan's Flight. That's always been one of my favorite Disney movies. I've always loved Peter Pan. Or, I just love Peter Pan a lot. I've always loved it. And, yeah, I can't wait to get to go with my nephew for his first experience of Disney, of the Disney World, most likely. And I'd love someday to go on a Disney cruise. And honestly, I used to think, oh gosh, they're so expensive. But really, if you think about it, like they even have like 14-day cruises, 14, 15-day cruises. And they're nowhere near as much as, I mean, honestly, you can get on any type of cruise for pretty darn cheap. And I mean, I don't care what kind of room we get. I've never been on a cruise in my life, like an actual overnight cruise. I've been on a technical cruise when my dad and I went to Virginia, but that's about it. But yeah, I really want to go on a Disney cruise. I could care less about going on Carnival cruise, whatever. I want to go on one where it's really more kid-oriented, so my nephew can have fun, but I can have just as much fun. Gosh, if we ever do get to go on a Disney cruise, I think I'm going to be jealous of my nephew, because I've looked at all kinds of stuff about Disney cruises. Like, gosh, that looks like that would be fun for me. I don't care how old I am. I want to be able to do this stuff, but of course you can't. Anyway, so yeah, well, I think that's, what else do I want to say about it? Oh, my favorite ride at Disney World, or at both parks, would have to be the Haunted Mansion, for sure. I love the Haunted Mansion. I mean, it hasn't always been my favorite ride, but it is now, because my dad and my sister got me a book that I don't know where it is. Let me see if it's under. Yes, it is. I'll show it to you. Hold on. Hold on a second, sorry. I'm going to show you this is what my sister and my dad got me. When as I told you, they went to Disneyland on a trip. They went on the about 3 weeks, maybe not as much, after my sister graduated. And this is what they got me in Disneyland, or one of the things. I think there was something else. I think a decal or something like that. But anyway, this is one of the things they got me. It's got all about the Haunted Mansion. Like, let me see if I can find a little excerpt from it. I'm not going to do too much longer, because my mom and I are leaving to go to my sister's today and take care of my nephew. Okay. Like, let me find some pictures from it, and I'll show them from, like, earlier concepts before they actually, some of the things they were planning on doing, but decided at the last minute not to. There was one picture, I'm going to put my thumb in it. Okay, here's, wait, let me see if I can find this. Oh, oops, it came out. Well, that'll make it easier to show you. Yeah. This is, this picture was one of the early designs from the ride. It was by a man named Raleigh Crump. And he had created, it says, in 1964, Raleigh Crump created this series of renderings and sketches of characters and gags for the Museum of the Weird. That's what they were originally wanting to do, called a Museum of the Weird. And I can't remember who, but one of the guys, he wanted it, I can't remember. One of them wanted it to be really, really creepy, and the other one wanted it to be really funny. Well, as you know, if you've been on the Haunted Mansion ride enough, it's a little bit of both. It's a little creepy, but not so creepy that you're like, having nightmares and everything. But it's funny, too. So that's what that's one of the things. Oh, where's that other picture? Okay, and here's a picture of the, one in Disneyland Paris. It's actually not called the Haunted Mansion. It's called, Phantom Manor, because it's different from any of the other ones you ride. Not that just that everything it's French and stuff, but it's like set in the Old West. While, like, as you know, most of them around here are set in, well, like in Disneyland it's set in New Orleans, and they're all pretty similar. But yeah, it's different. And it actually, I was watching a few months ago a documentary on YouTube, here on YouTube, about the Phantom Manor, and they actually got the idea from Phantom of the Opera, or part of it. Like, that's where they kind of got it, the inspiration came from the 1985 or 86. I should know that. I know that. 1986. Duh, duh, duh. 1985 was Les Mis. 1986 was Phantom. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, they got from the Andrew Lloyd Webber 1986 musical Phantom of the Opera. My favorite. Anyways, yeah, so, yeah, that's, I would love to be able to write it. They actually originally had, he's no longer the narrator in English in, Disneyland Paris, but Vincent Price, was actually the original narrator in English over at Disneyland Paris for Phantom Manor. If you don't know who Vincent Price is, look up, you may not know him by name, but if you've heard Michael Jackson's Thriller, you know who, he's the voice that's at the end, the kind of narrator of the whole, song that you hear towards the end of it, and he laughs and stuff and goes, oh, oh, and you know, that's him. So, yeah, like I said, the Haunted Mansion is my absolute favorite ride. So, well, I think that's about it. I've got to I gotta get this uploaded as quickly as possible, or maybe upload it tomorrow on Friday. I don't know. I mean, I'm coming back home tomorrow with my mom, so it may get uploaded tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today, and don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below about what your favorite part of Disney is, or the Disneyland rides. I'll probably do some more Disney videos, I'm sure. And don't forget to follow me on Tumblr and Twitter. I will definitely try to I gotta remember to add the links to the other pages as well, including mine, and including this video. And I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.